Hello everyone, it's Mich here and welcome to my channel. As I always say, if you watch a few of my videos in a row, you probably get sick of me hearing it, but I just want to welcome you. And if you're new, thanks so much for stopping by, and I do hope you come back. And if you are one of my regulars, I just really appreciate you and I see you. So thank you so much. So today is going to be another video in my Junk Journal Joy playlist, and this series is about A Garden Story, which is a digikit that's based on Rach and Bella. I always want to say designs. Rach and Bella Crafts and Angela Kerr. They have a collaboration going, and they created the digikit, which you can get on Etsy and Ko-fi, I think. And I have put a couple of projects already in this playlist. See how gorgeous the pages are? It's absolutely stunning. So I've been just loving this, and I'm just so motivated to keep playing with it. So today I'm going to bring a little different project. And oh, and I just love my cover. I did that, I think it was my last video, and I'm loving it more every day. But what I wanted to talk about today was transferring images onto material. Okay, so the examples that I have for today is this little guy. So I transferred that image onto this muslin, and then I just created like a little flap, a little secret little I don't even know what you call that. And I just put a little bit of lace and a little charm, and I just love this guy. And then I can put like a little journal spot here, or I've got a couple ideas of what I want to put underneath it, but that's one example. Another example is this girl here. I love her. She reminds me of my godchildren. But I put the image on there. I then sewed around it, and I created just a little pocket for just some a big tag, a little journal card, and then I just put a little embellishment at the bottom there, and that is directly onto that material. Okay, so yeah, so let's get started. So how I'm doing that is with Mod Podge image photo transfer, it's called. I got this at Michael's. I think it was $14.99 in Canada. I'm in Halifax, but I had a 50% off coupon, so I think it cost me $8. I've done quite a bit already, and it's still like I've got tons left. So some of the things that you do need to keep in mind is that you do need a laser printer. Now, I don't have a laser printer, but my local library does. In Halifax County, we get $5 a month free printing. So each print is 25 cents, I think. It might be cheaper Staples. I'm not sure. I've never compared. But that means that I get 20 colored prints a month for free. So I just went over to the library and I just printed off some things with the laser. And you want it just single-sided, and you want it on the thinnest possible paper. And so this is just what was in the copier. Sometimes I go over and take my own paper, and then I print onto other things. You need to be careful. You can't print glossy photos or put tissue paper, stuff like that through it. But I can do a little bit heavier paper, which I do. But in this instance, I just went over, printed off a couple of these, and then I just got my muslin ready. And the other thing I wanted to add was this material here. This was my first ever Happy Mail. It came from Luann. Luann, if you're watching, thank you so much. And I've been wanting to use it. I've used a couple pieces in other projects, but I wanted this to be in this journal. I just thought it was a special. So What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off to this side, and I'm just going to blop it on, and then I'm just going to brush it on. And the thing about it is you don't want to go over the edge, because any whiteness that kind of seeps over the edge is going to leave like an opaqueness on your material, and you don't want that. Likewise, you don't want to get any on the back. So I just wanted this to kind of have a random edge to it. So I'm just going to do that much. And then what I'm going to do is get my little thing so I can put my brush down here. And this, by the way, just cleans up with soap and water. So I'm just going to turn this over. Oop, got it on my fingers. And I want it right about here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet, but I want to give myself options. So I'm just going to leave that there. And then you really want to press it, and I'm pressing from the edges inward, because if there is stuff close to the edge, I don't want it to push out like glue does and blop out. Okay, so I'm giving that a good rub. And the thing about this is you have to have patience. This has to sit, I let it sit overnight. So I have this on one of my cutting mats with some parchment down. So then, oops, and see a little bit of that blopped out. So how did that happen? Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I was using just a bit of paper, which I didn't get out here. Scrap paper. And then, again, I don't want it to go onto that white edge. So I'm just going to cut that off. Because if it goes onto the white edge, the white is gonna end up on your material, and we don't want that. So we'll just get that a little bit down, add a little bit more. And I just love this because, I don't know, I just find, for me, a junk journal, whether I use it as a writing journal or just a journal, I like texture. I like to have different things. And I want this kind of sideways because I'm thinking I might use this as a side pocket. So I just want to put that down and press it out. Okay, I was going to say some of this might be off camera, but okay, and then I'm just going to press that down good. Okay, and then I wanted to do some words, and I want to do this because I'm thinking what I'll do with this one here, is that I might do a wraparound pocket. So I might do this, that's why I've put a little bit of a crease there. And the one thing that you do have to note about if you're going to put something with print or words is that you need to mirror it. Because if you're going to put words down, obviously you're putting the words upside down, so you need to mirror the image. Okay, and then I'm just going to blob that down. And again, I'm not too worried. I like to have like a little randomness to the border. Okay, so then I'm going to put this back on my mat because it does seep through a little bit. So I'll put that back there and then turn it upside down. And this is great too if you wanted to put any kind of image. You just need to make sure that you're printing it on a laser printer, so it can't be like a glossy photo. It just, because what's going to happen, and I'll show you what happens because I've done some of these already. I just wanted to go through kind of some of the steps in the process. So I have a little jar of water here. So I'm just going to put my brush in there until I get a chance to clean it. Okay, and that's down good. So we can move that. I'll just leave it, I guess. It's stuck there for now. And once that dries, it'll lift off fine. I just wanted to make room for, I wanted to do a couple words here. So I have a little piece here, and at the library, it was a bit of a trick. So if you're going to use a library, try to get your images mirrored before you go. So I've printed that off in a mirror image, and then I'm just gonna put a little bit of this stuff in here. It's just like, it reminds me of marshmallow fondant. That's what it reminds me of. There's no smell. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, and just be careful with this, because wherever you put this, it's going to leave behind. So it's going to leave white, and I'll show you in an example of what it looks like when it's finished. I did some in writing too. Okay, so I'm just going to take that and I'm going to stick that on there. Press it down. Okay, and then I'm doing this one for my mom. It's a saying is really familiar now. Be happy, with the B as a B, B-E-E. But 35 years ago, 40 years ago, my mother used to say it to me all the time. And it wasn't as common a phrase then, I don't think, as it is kind of now. But so that's my ode to her. Okay, so I'm going to put that stuff aside for now, and I'll get back to this tomorrow, and I'll probably review these particular ones in my next video. So I'm just going to set those aside. Okay, so I also did, besides the examples that I showed you in my journal, I did it on some of these as well. So that's muslin and just some heavy cotton, which I think is really cute. But so then the other thing that I did after this was dried, and I did my what we need to do at the next step, and I let this dry really well after we were finished getting the backing off. I then took my stiffener, Beacon stiffener, that I had from a different project, but I've had this on my shelf, and I sprayed this a couple times so that it was really stiff, like that stands right up, which I was kind of thinking that I would make a tag out of this one, because I think this would be a cute material tag. But then when I was going through my journal, I kind of thought it would be really cute as like a side pocket. I think that would be really sweet. So I'm now undecided whether I want to do like a little side pocket. I think I am. I think I'll put stitching here and then maybe put that down as another pocket. And then with this, it was the same thing. I thought I might do a tag, and then as I got playing with it, I thought this would be a great side tuck if I put it in this way. You do some stitching, and then you could have your side tuck. So I'm not really sure. I love how the stiffener made that quite stiff. I think any spray starch would probably do the same thing. This is good for fabrics, bows, doilies, silk flowers, crochet, and more. So I was using it to stiffen some ribbon for a project I was doing. So that's another idea that you can use with the image transfer, or you could just use the stiffener just to stiffen any material. So the next step, once you've let your stuff dry, oh, and the other thing I did was I did them on, so I had some little tea bags that I have, some that I just got off Amazon. So, and the reason that I kind of thought I'd like to do a little bag is because Bobby and I, we often go to the beach and we collect sea glass or maybe some little shells. And I'd like to be able to add that to my summer journal somewhere. So I thought, well, I'll do some little bags. So this is a little tea bag. And then I've got a coffee stained one that we're going to try to get the back off. But then at the dollar store, you can get these little party bags, or they just come in like packs of, I think you can get like 10 in a pack, and you can put little bits and bobs. So I thought, well, let's try that. And that was really sweet. So that image is right on the bag. Like, isn't that cute? So I thought that that's a good idea. So that I think I like this even better than the tea bag because it's sheer, and so when I put my sea glass or my little shell or something, then that's really going to show up in my journal. So I thought that that was a good idea. So basically what we need to do is you need to get some water, which I just contaminated with my paintbrush, but that's okay. Get some water, and what we're going to do is we're just going to spritz it on. So this is another bag that I picked up from the dollar store. Actually, I got it the other day. I was over there looking at stuff that I actually got to do my front cover and my birdhouses and stuff. If you haven't seen that video, you can check that one out. And then I saw these little, I don't know, hemp bags, little material bags. So I'm just peeling off part of the background that I didn't put the photo transfer stuff on. Okay. And then we're just going to gently work it until the image appears. Okay. So I'm just going to gently start working that. And if you find you get to a point that the image really isn't coming out clear, then just leave it, go away, let it dry a bit, and then come back and gently just spritz and get the bit of the paper that's left. And that's why it's really good to have thin paper, because if you have thick paper, it's just going to be a lot harder to get that image to come up. I mean, isn't that sweet? And I've not seen a lot of people, actually I've not seen anybody, but I haven't really done a lot of research. I've seen this not in relation to junk journaling, but just if you wanted to put an image on something. But I think it's like really miraculous. Now there's all kinds of other ways that you can do it, but I just thought that I would demonstrate this one. Now this one here, I think I got some of the stuff on the back of that. The other thing is because, that might actually be part of the image. It's hard to tell. I wanted to check out different types of material. So the tea bag has, it's very porous and there's lots of holes. So this, I don't know if you can see it as well, but this kind of actually goes into the holes. And I think some of the image came off just because it wasn't like solid material, which may be the case with this one as well, is that because this is such a large weave in the material, some of the image I might actually rub it off. But again, I'm okay with that because it makes it look more rustic. It makes it look more, I don't know, more aged, I guess, and not like I just went out and bought it at the store or something. So see, you kind of get the idea. Like, isn't that sweet? And then that is right in your material. And I just, for the little bags, I put some parchment inside just so that it wouldn't run out to the back. And so I'm going to let that dry. There might be a little bit of backing still on there, but I think that's a pretty good job. So then with the tea bag, it's basically the same thing. And then I did some letters, and I'll show you. So with the tea bag, again, we're just going to spritz. I usually wait a couple seconds. This might actually be. And then you just take that right off. And I'm okay that, actually I kind of really like that some of the white of the paper stays on the backing. I think it kind of highlights it a bit, like sets it apart. And just like what we did the other one, you want to be careful where you're putting that. Okay? And then that's right in the material. Like, how cool is that? Okay, so then there's that one. And then I just wanted to do something with a bigger weave and get this off. There's so many things that you can do with DigiKits. And the reason that I, say about DigiKits is because you can resize things, you can cut bits out. Unlike when you buy a paper pad, yes, you don't have to print out a paper pad, but I just find that I love paper. I love paper pads. I love them for like your signatures, and I do collage and make cards and scrapbooking. So I'd never give up my paper pads, but I said in another video, it's so hard here, except if I go on Amazon or pay lots of shipping from the US to get really nice paper pads. So since I've got my Epsom Eco Tank, I just find, it's reasonable to print, and you just have so much versatility. So there's another little bag. This one here is like a little tea bag. So you could put little things in, or you could just, which I may do in my next video, is you could use that on your page as, let me just get rid of some of this. You can use that just as, maybe we could put that as a pocket and have stuff, we can put stuff in it. So you could stiffen it or not. Like, I don't even think with this one here, you wouldn't even need to stiffen it. You can just put that in. So, so one thing I wanted to get back to is I've already did the photo transfer with a couple sayings. So I've got scatter seeds of kindness. And again, you can kind of see the background of the whiteness, but I really love that. A garden is a grand teacher. These are things that I think I'm going to put in my journal. But for today, I just think she looks so happy and so kind. And so I'm just going to put this one in as her heading. So I'm just going to cut that out a bit. And then if you want to leave your threads, some people really like to leave their threads. I don't like the big long, well, I can't say I don't like it, but for this instance, I'm not. Okay, and then I just want to fray it a little bit just to make it look a little bit, like it's been aged. So I'm just going to, and it will fray a little bit as, from where, just from, opening and closing the journal and putting stuff in, and you could fray it a little bit more. But I just thought that would look really nice right there. And I kind of like that it's by itself. Like it's not just stitched onto there. I kind of like, just going to scrunch it up a bit. I kind of like that. So I'm just going to use, oh, excuse me, I'm reaching over here. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. This bottle's almost out. So Michael's had a 50% off coupon this weekend. So I happened to get a couple coupons because the kids were so nice, so great you could only have one and it knew your device. So once you used it, you couldn't use it again. So I just got the kids to go on their phones and get the coupon and send it to me, a photo of it. So I had a few coupons. So one of the coupons that I had, I don't care if this is perfect because it doesn't really need to be. But I bought three things. So I bought a bottle of glue for my 50% off. I bought I bought a Fisker's heavy duty stapler. And I didn't get this one this time. I did get, you could have with it, but I had that. So but I got something else. Wow, I love that. So that you kind of can see how it's lifted a bit. Yeah, so that's my project for today. I hope that you did get inspired and maybe, found a unique way, isn't he sweet, to add some texture, a different way to kind of play with your DigiKit. Even if you don't junk journal, you can make, you could take a photo, print it off on laser printer, create little bags for people, make little sayings. There's so much that you can do. I love that one. So thanks for stopping by. If you did like today's project, I'd love for you to give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope I've not been bombarding you guys with videos, but I've had some time and I'm just loving playing. And I'm loving that you're joining me and leaving your comments. You're just so kind. But from me and Chester, bye for now, and stay safe and well, and we'll see you soon.